Welcome back, South Philly Sauce, an Audacy original brought to you by 94 WIP and Jack Daniels, Ashlyn, Sullivan, Al Morganti, here with you getting ready for a weekend of hockey after 2 more games this week, recapping back-to-back losses for the Flyers, especially. Al, we saw them fight hard against the Carolina Hurricanes team. It was a good game to start this road trip. Unfortunately, they do not get the overtime point that they really needed. As of right now, the Flyers last place in hockey, the least amount of points in hockey, bottom of the standings. No secret, this is not where they wanted to be. We knew it would be a bit of a struggle this year. We thought it wouldn't be as electrifying, as much momentum as we saw last year, but I don't think any of us expected this. And now you're at the point where you're trying to bounce back and become respectful again.
So it hasn't been a good winter sports start in Philadelphia. No. So why don't we just okay, for a week, let's just swap coaches. We'll put Nick Nurse behind the Flyers bench and we'll put Torts with the Sixers. And we'll have fun with that for a while to see if we can't change the fortunes of both teams. But at least it'd be interesting. Can't wait to see Embiid show up and tell Torts I need a day off. And I can't wait the other side for Nurse to come and say, what is going on here? But you mentioned the bottom of the standings. I didn't even realize that. It was like, I'm so just concerned with the way things are going. Like that loss in Carolina, the end of that game was horrible. It just, you can understand a team like that's a really good team, and they take a ton of shots on net. They controlled territory, but you got 2 big breaks in the game. In terms of goals that, lucky, basically, good bounces. And then the end of the game, you literally can't get them out of your zone for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Just, we used to play in high school or practice, or even no matter what level you're in. I remember coaching when we were playing a really inferior team. You don't want to run up scores. And we would say, before you shoot, everybody has to touch the puck. We'd say, okay, 5 touch. Mm-hmm. And it looked like Carolina was playing 5 touch. Nobody shoots until all 5 players touch the puck. Move it around the perimeter, go cross ice, whatever. But it was horrifying to watch the end of that, unable to win a battle. And just, part of it is, no doubt about it, that other side is a very good hockey team. Mm-hmm. Playing really well right now. But my Lord, just to clear the zone was a mess.
It was. And I think what the biggest problem is it always felt too good to be true. And when it became the end of the game, we saw, 2 minutes left, it was this impending doom feeling that you knew it was going to happen. I mean, you could have written the script exactly how this game was going to end. Oh, they're going to lose at the last second. And sure enough, they did. And that's, I just feel like we said this so much last year, where you love the fight. You love that they're in it with these games, but the Flyers are at the point now where they have to take the next step, where that's not good enough anymore, where it's not good enough to fight till the end, but not get the point. Because, look at the standings right now. Do the Flyers have a chance? Of course. Hockey is crazy, where so many teams have a chance until the end to make the playoffs, but I think in order for this to get better, you're going to have your stars start playing. And it's kind of crunch time right now, which is crazy to say it's so early in the season. But if it doesn't get better now, when is it ever going to get better?
Yeah, well, the question is, who are your stars? You look at Carolina, any team, you look at
it's clear who their stars are.
Well, and you go into Tampa, you go into Florida, and you see it. And, the Flyers, there's a lack of that elite player. Michkov is coming to kind of try to raise that. You got Konechny, Sanheim played well, but I don't know that even saying that you like the fight. When you say that means winning, making it hard to beat. And although the score would have indicated that with Carolina, that the fact that so many wall battles were lost, especially late. The goaltending situation, Kolosov played okay, didn't hang on to one puck he probably should have. He's a young goalie to go in, but I'm not sure that people look at this the same way, they hung in until the end. I think it was more like you gave up too much. When the Bruins came in here, they had Carolina had just buried them. 2 nights before, I think. And then they just played a shutdown defensive game. And that's sort of, I think, why the coaching staff said Tortorella especially wasn't very talkative afterwards, because it was like I don't think they saw that much as we made it. And I think they need offense. Obviously, you can't lose that structure that you had. And I think they were upset at what happened in their zone at times.
Yeah, especially when you look at the end of the game in the zone time, that was just brutal. And you talk about trying to bounce back. Defensive struggles as well. When we look at this, John Tortorella was really honest pregame before Carolina at morning skate that he felt like the defense was back where it needed to be because of all the practice they got in their zone, that they were spending it the entire game there. I think as a whole, I mean, Cam York being out has been brutal for this team. They need him back. Sanheim's playing great. The pairs are a little jumbled right now, but I have a hard time asking this defense to play better when you don't get the run support.
Yeah, and Andre had a really tough game, I thought. Really, he just lost a skate. It looked like he lost a skate blade. He went down so hard on one trying to track back. But no, that's if that falls apart, they're in a whole bunch of trouble. And you have to you can live with a couple of mistakes by a young player, but if it starts to pile up, it gets ugly. And Andre getting the puck out of the zone, really good stuff. And I got to say, for everything that's happened, we've been sort of forewarned about it by the coaching staff. It was like, even last year, if you just wind back a little bit, when around Christmas time, everybody's all excited. It's like I think it was Tort said, yeah, but things are going to get a whole lot tougher. This league changes when the calendar changes as you go later in the year. And sure enough, that happened. And they've been warning us. He'd been warning us, especially, the defense were going to live with some mistakes. But to erase those mistakes, if you're going to, you have to one strong goaltending, which they haven't had. Kosov was okay. I mean, they've got struggles there, especially now with Erson out. And you have to have a power play that makes up for things. And we thought that was going to be the case early. And again, struggles on that coming up. So, and consistency. We don't even have consistency in lines anymore. I mean, trying to jumble things up just to get somebody going, to get some, you need a good feeling again. And that's why I thought it was so important to just get a point out of that game. Even if you weren't playing a clean game, it would have been such a different feeling to just get a point out of that game, drag it into overtime.
Yeah, I agree. Just some momentum, something to feel good about, because even this podcast, it feels very doom and gloom because what else is there to talk about? I will say the one turning point, the one good thing that I think is going to give this Flyers team hope, at least for this road trip, is Owen Tippett finally getting on the board. His second goal of the season. It comes at a crucial time. And we've seen with Owen Tippett, especially last year, when he gets the one, he gets going. And he gets going for a little bit. He's really streaky, but the Flyers, if they can get some productivity from him this road trip, I think that's huge. I mean, we talk about the stars. Tippett has to be one of those guys. He's that in-between player right now where what's he going to be in his career? It's time for him to move up, and this is his chance. When you get this goal we've seen with Tippett, he'll go on for a good bit here, hopefully.
Yeah, and when they left for the road trip, I was talking to him. I jokingly said, maybe you'll come back with 5 goals or something. He just looked at me like the way things are going right now, but yeah, I'm hoping that, and it was a heck of a shot. I mean, it was just an absolute rocket of a shot. And I thought, okay, now he's got that confidence. Sometimes you wonder with him is, when you cover guys in any sport that some guys love to score touchdowns, so score points in basketball, just shoot. I'm hoping that he has that in him, that he just wants, it's like oxygen to him, scoring goals. That he just, and he takes shots. So that's element one there. But to absolutely I have to have it. He's a tough guy to read. Just for me anyway, talking to him, because he's so quiet. But you never can tell with that. But you could tell he was bothered by it, but didn't want it to become the obsession that ruins every part of your game. So you're right. If he gets that going, I mean, then he could use him on a power play and whatever, and just. He can be intimidating to another team's goaltender and the whole defenseman totally because of his speed coming in and create shots for other people. He can create shots for himself, no doubt about it. I mean, that's what he does. But he could also create shots for other people, getting that shot through. As long as it's not far side wide and race up the ice the other way. That is an intimidating weapon that he has with that shot. And I just think it's not just a key to him. It's a key to people on the ice with him when he takes that shot, and it's accurate.
Yeah, because there's momentum behind him, and it's not just him. It's 3 or 4 guys that you are in the same boat as Owen Tippett. Tyson Forrester's another one, and we're seeing defensive problems with Tyson running into the goaltender the last game. That's a goal you put on him. Joel Farabee, while he's playing a lot better and he's getting some ice time, we're not seeing the goals, that's for sure. So it's not just picking on Tippett. It's that category of players that you're getting no production for, and it's no secret why we're seeing a lack of goaltending or goals, because when none of those guys are doing anything, when they're all cold, that's what you're seeing last place in the league. And especially, we mentioned the lines, they're all over the place. Well, especially right now with center, we have Ryan Poehling, who was just placed on IR. We are told that he is in Minnesota. We're not sure what's going on with that. So then you see Morgan Frost move all the way up. You see Cates be put in. And now you're talking about the inconsistency. It's like you had something set, and now it's all over the place again.
Yeah, when you look at their centermen, you get Coots, and when you look at this league, you have to be strong there. You just have to be strong at center. It's a crucial position, and they're really struggled at it. When you look at it, would any of their centers be second line on any team in the division? And then you look at the Devils situation. I mean, there's just, they're so strong down the middle, and that really hurts. I mean, Coots is a veteran player, battles. They've used him there. Frost has had some struggles also. You have to, first place, you got to win your face-offs. They have to, defensive responsibilities. You're leaned upon heavily. I think that's why. I believe that's why Luchenko got that look here, so that the organization could say what we have in the middle. And then it's also why when Walker was traded, everybody was, how can you move a guy like that when you have a shot at the playoffs? But they're getting what should be a good draft pick from Colorado, and a very good draft coming up where I assume it will be a center. It's an issue, and it's a short and long-term issue. So I think that's where, do you dare? Their game plan doesn't seem to be we're going to go out and get somebody. That doesn't seem to be in their plan at all. It seems we'll live with this, but right now they just don't, in my opinion, don't have enough in the middle to really be a factor. And that in this league, boy, you can have wings, obviously, the great wings that score, but you got to have guys in the middle to get things going, to feed people, to feed the puck, to win defensive battles, and to have better structure coming out of your zone and when you're in that zone. And the Flyers depth chart, that to me stands out like, whoa, this is an organization issue that we're going to have to deal with. And it might not be through this season that you get help there.
Well, I think Torts and Breer have been so honest that they're not adding anyone. And I see that side of it of, okay, you go spend big time money to bring in a top center. With the way the team is playing, does that help you right now? I mean, I get it. I think it would definitely add to more wins, but we saw it with Sean Walker. Like, that was great to have him, but they're in a place right now where they're honest. They have to build for the future. I think it'd be better to draft a centerman next season and allow it to develop. And while that stinks to have the patience to do that, the home run swing, they're not there right now.
Yeah, but it also makes it tough to judge your other players without that guy that's developing play.
Fighting. Yeah.
Well, developing play to get scoring opportunities, cover up for you when you, it affects everything. If you're asking your defenseman to pinch on who's coming, it affects a whole lot when you don't have that number one guy. Couturier is a terrific. He can be terrific, especially late in the game or whatever. But you're asking all that. He's had a lot of miles there and a lot of injuries, and we mentioned Frost time and time again. When is it going to happen? So Michkov becomes critical in this whole situation, and you're going to have to live with his mistakes at his position without sometimes having that staple in the middle.
Yes, and with all that said, there's not great things going on right now in Flyers land, but neither Sixers as well, and the Flyers, they are on this road trip. They have Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers, so some high-flying offenses. They're gonna have to score some goals, Al. There's no secret. They're
gonna have to score some goals, and you never know though in hockey. The one thing about hockey is, unlike some other sports was like you're a decided underdog or whatever. You always have a chance. That's why I think they get the coaching staff and fans get upset because in hockey you should not ever get really blown out because effort will go a long way. Even if it's 56 out of the 60 minutes, effort goes a long way. And when you look at a lot of times in the NHL, a team that wins 50 games, 43 of them might be by one goal.
Yeah.
And that's why you always have that shot, because goaltender lets in a soft one. So we'll see what happens. And your goaltending can change the dynamic of so much. So we'll see what happens when Ersson, I don't know, I think he might play one of the games in Florida. Yeah. We don't know. But I mean, that should help stabilize things, and we'll see what happens. But this is a team that cannot go on 80% effort, 85%. It's got to be 100% virtually not every night, but every shift.
Yeah, to stand a chance. And Sam Ersson on the trip, so that's good news. Maybe we'll see him play at some point this week. And thank you for tuning into South Philly Sauce, an Audacy original brought to you by 94 WIP and Jack Daniels. We'll be back early next week to break down these 2 remaining games on the road trip. Have a great rest of your week.